Good morning and happy Friday, folks. Was working on actually a PowerPoint presentation of all things, right? Not just playing guitar. So I do have to make a living from that perspective. I've got a big meeting coming up next week in North Carolina with a bank, and I was like thinking to myself, again, the similarities between music and corporate world, specifically sales and sales and marketing, even law, whatever you do. And I think what happens is that at the end of the day, music is about the relationship with your guitar as well as your audience. There's a give and take. You've got to do a lot of listening, a lot of interplay. It's not about just your skill set and then blowing through changes and things of that nature. And it's the same thing about our daily interaction, whether it's on our personal life or professional life. I think about sales, for example. As a young salesperson growing up in corporate America, one of the things that where it's hard to get away from is what I call a transactional sale, as opposed to something that's a little bit more collaborative. So if you treat something like you're selling a car, and there's no disrespect to folks who sell cars or anything like that, that's a transaction where you can say, okay, this is what the parts of the car are, and then if I'm looking for leather versus upholstery or V6 versus V8, things of that nature, I can line that stuff up and then basically buy it as a commodity, as a transaction. Unfortunately, things are much, much more complicated, and in the realm of like complex sales, you're probably dealing with a lot of different moving parts, and there has to be more than just trying to get the next meeting or trying to let's just close this. You have to have a process in place of collaboration where there's a couple of wins along the line, so it's not about the next meeting and things of that nature. And it's beyond just like the different sales methodologies, like medic, like your metrics, your economic buyer decision process, decision criteria, implicating pain, and then competition. So those are all structures, and to me, they're really good to have under your hand. But it's kind of very similar to theory. So it's great if you go to conservatory and you have a mechanism and a way to understand music. This is a 2-5-1 chord progression. The same way there are these sales methodologies. But at the end of the day, it's about the relationships, about listening, it's about collaboration, and it's about moving from a transaction to the humanistic elements of it so that there's a win both ways, and not BSing people about that. Because quite frankly, the same way there are a lot of guitar players, a lot of drummers who may be as good as musicians, if not better than you are. They may not be able to play with contextually with the same types of people because they just don't have that spirit of collaboration. Okay, the same thing in your professional life. There are other people selling the same solutions and products that you're selling, but you have to be able to work into collaboration and add value to the consumer or to the end client from that perspective. So anyway, sorry for the long-winded message. Have a great weekend now. Bye.